what's going on. You about to check out Destiny and his cry session or his debate session. He went on Fresh and Fit and started debating fans. I ain't doing that. I don't got the time for that. I don't care what nobody say. Have your opinions. Put it in the comment section. I ain't just gonna be out here debating people willy-nilly. That sounds crazy. Let's check this out, man. Let's see what he has to say. There you go.
Fernando, Lewis.
Yeah, Myron, I wanted to ask, what do you think about like Israel and Netanyahu having significant influence over the U.S. and like why are all the presidential candidates Zionists? Like, what's your opinion on that?
That's crazy.
Well, I will say this.
This video is for educational purposes. It's just educational purposes. That's what we on here for. Educate. Oh, and more importantly, entertainment, of course, but it's for education, just in case, you know how they be. Big brothers watching me.
I reacted to his speech yesterday, and they stood up 81 times and gave him a standing ovation. So after every sentence, they gave him an ovation. So that should tell you everything that you need to know there. What are your thoughts, Destiny? Did you watch this?
I didn't. My take's gonna be hugely unpopular here. Old people like Israel because Israel's like the democracy in the Middle East, and they saw Israel as like this underdog getting bullied by all these Arab countries. That's why old people in the U.S. love Israel. That's not going to change ever until they all get old and die.
Love them.
What?
No, the boomers absolutely support Israel.
Yeah,
yes.
Israel sucks at propaganda. Jews suck at propaganda. They suck at controlling the media. I think that's been demonstrated like with extreme efficacy in the past like 7 or 8 years. They cannot control.
Just be extremely careful how y'all speaking. This is educational purposes. I'm never gonna get over Myron bringing his piece back up here, man. This is crazy. I might need to, once I get my money up, I'm joking. I'm going to just be bald. It's fine. It's fine. I just rather just deal with it. That's like when men be dyeing their hair. I'm never going to do that. Just let the grays show, nigga. I've earned my gray hairs. I earned my bald ass head. You know what I'm talking about? So but it does look immaculate. I ain't going to front the waves suspended. He brought it back, son. That's amazing.
Any media narrative to save their life. Nobody will believe me on that now, but that's fine. But I think that
y'all know what I'm talking about. Go and look at his old videos. Go and look at old Fresh and Fit videos. And you're going to be like, nigga, is this an old video? No, nigga, he brought it back. I don't know what doctor he went to, but it looks amazing.
To look out for are, I would say, it's Qatar, Iran, China, and Russia. I think for like controlling media narratives. I think those are the huge things that we have to look at going forward. But
I always joke with my older brother, man. Like I'd be like, "Yo, man, we gonna go get it done. Like we go get the Myron from Fresh and Fit. What's up, nigga? Once I get my money up, now we gonna get our hairlines and everything looking coordinated, nigga. I'm rejuvenated. We gonna fix it up. I ain't doing it though. For one, I don't know the risk, if there's any. How long have they been doing stuff like that? Is there a side effect? Where does it come from? I don't know. It looks dope, but I kind of don't want to risk it. I don't. As well as I've always preached and spoke about just being who you are and just being real and just being that. So it would be real hypocritical of me to go and get a piece, go and get the top up there.
But we'll see.
It'll be hypocritical.
And Louis, to answer your question, bro, I genuinely don't believe that you can ever, well, maybe in the future one day, but nowadays you can't be a politician in the United States of any real consequence unless you, support AIPAC. That's just the reality nowadays. So maybe things will change later, but for now, that's just one of the realities of being any type of politician in the United States with real influence. Jacob, we got you next. And we could definitely have a discussion on that, Destiny, which I won't even get into like with the news and stuff because we're on YouTube and obviously it's a very long conversation. I know we're short for time here, but that could be another day. Jacob, what's up, bro?
Hey, what's up? I just had a quick question. I didn't get to catch the whole stream, but this is mainly for Destiny.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the boiling water shooting incident?
The blooming water shooting incident. No, I didn't. What is that?
Boiling.
Oh, yeah. I watched the video on that. Yeah.
Okay. I was just wanted to see or hear.
You sound higher than me. Blooming. Nigga, no. It's not. And they talking about that. Yeah, that's a thing getting discussed. Yes, it was unfortunate. I think that cop was wilding with what he said prior, but at the same time, yeah, I'm gonna be a little nervous about somebody walking towards me with a boiling water pot. Yeah, 100%. Nigga, I don't know what they boiling in there. Is it water? You know, like people throwing acid is like a real thing out here in these streets. That's one of my biggest fears. That's how I make my money. I'm joking, but I'm not. Gotta take care of it. Gotta take care of it. My bad. Talking about my face. Yeah, like that's a thing. And even if it's just boiling water, you still could mess my face up. Yeah. But I don't think it's as like what a lot of these woke people are trying to make that situation out to be. But I still do think the cop was wilding out. If you heard what he said in that damn audio, I was like, nigga, what is you doing? Yeah, you a little too scared. Nigga, like, I would be worried. But if you that nervous, nigga, I don't think you need to be a cop. That's why I always say we need some military up in there, bro. Like, right, we need like FBI training. Let's hire the requirements and hire the pay. That's my belief with the police. Hire the requirements, hire the pay. We need Captain America up in there, nigga. Nigga, his shield would have been ready, nigga. He didn't even just toss the shield real quick. Anyway.
Do you think it's justified or unjust of the police officer doing that?
Okay, this is what I'll say. Okay, fucking Christ.
Yeah.
Okay, Myron will support me here. Okay, keep me sane. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. When you find people that are exceptionally talented, or you find people that are in incredibly dangerous situations, the Hollywood portrayal of this is that like a really good athlete, a really smart thinker, a really good cop is somebody that has like cat-like reflexes, the aim of like James Bond, the mind of Einstein, right? That this is what it means to be like an effective law enforcement officer, secret service person, whatever the fuck. The reality is the people that are the most successful in life, this applies to every area of life too, okay? It's not the people that are able to make these like lightning fast decisions and figure out what they need to do on the fly. It's people that prepare themselves and put themselves in situations and environments where they can succeed. All right. When a police officer is dealing with I don't even want to say a suspect, but really with anybody that they're not fully comfortable with, there are reasons why cops say, hey, let me see your hands. Or if they're doing even a small detainment investigation, they'll say like, can you come and sit over here on the sidewalk? Can you just like keep your hands on your knees? If they want, maybe they'll zip tie, maybe they'll handcuff you, like just so I can see what's going on. The reason why you do that is because you never want to be in a situation where an old lady has a boiling fucking pot of water that you send into the kitchen and is about to throw it at you. And you're like, well, fuck, right? At the time that the lady goes to throw the boiling pot of water, am I very critical of the cop shooting her? Not. I mean, she's close enough to do some fucking damage. If she gets a whole boiling pot of water, I'm like, I'm not like at that point, I kind of get it, but there's no way that it should have gotten to that point. I have no fucking idea why law enforcement would allow a lady who seems insane, and she has seemed insane up to that point. Why would they let her walk to the kitchen unaccompanied to turn off a boiling pot of water on a stove when they have no fucking idea what's going on? I think that the officers just fucked the handling of that situation up, and they put themselves in a situation.
I do think they could have did it better, but this is a lose-lose situation. Because like if the officer was to try to get the lady to stop moving and going over, what if she didn't listen, right? If you yourself just said she's crazy, right, and bugging out, what if she just kept going? And then he would have probably had the same reaction that he was having, right? Like, I think it would lead to the same thing, right? Because if I'm not mistaken, the cop was on alert, like from once I heard the audio. And so that it seems as if she just wasn't compliant and just started doing just crazy things, like going and boiling some water in the middle of this, right, discussion where it's like, nigga, why are you so comfortable to be doing that? Nigga, like cops come around, I'm frozen like a mother effer. You don't catch me slipping out here in these streets at all, nigga. So I don't know. Like, I agree with some of the points Destiny is making. I do think, like I just said, nigga, if the requirements were higher, nigga, that he would have been better trained and been able to handle that, right? And why wasn't, you know what? Never mind. I don't know all the procedures, right? But there's a few mistakes I do think that cop made, especially if you hear the audio, the way this nigga was talking. Like, it sounded horrible. But that don't mean that the woman wasn't doing nothing wrong in any way, shape, or form, or doing anything that could have caused him any kind of like worry or anything. So yeah, I kind of agree with what Destiny's saying. I just disagree with maybe like small little things. Like maybe it's just me being a little petty, but small little things. Yeah, I'm not in full support of that officer at all. I just don't think it's what woke media is trying to make it. Right? Like it's just like, oh, poor victim, and this guy did this and this, and like, my nigga, unfortunate event. 100%. It was messed up. But nah, we can't just keep making things seem like it's like all cops bad. Every other person that cops deal with, good. They never do nothing wrong. Like, nigga, why was she doing all of that? It sounds crazy to me. Right? Let me go cook you a meal? What was she doing boiling water? Nigga, like, that's, yeah.
Where they had to make an impossible call on like shooting a lady who's got a huge pot of boiling water that she's trying to throw at this cop. And it was just, I think it was fucked in that way. So when people analyze the shooting, usually when cops make mistakes, it's not because they made the wrong split-second decision. It's usually because they weren't being careful in advance to make sure that they had the people that they needed sitting on the sidewalk, their hands cuffed in advance to control the situation, essentially. That was my feeling on it, yeah. And then Myron can agree or disagree with the general specific. Yeah,
I agree with some of it. I think it's a clean shoot, contrary to popular belief. I think it's a 100% clean shoot, and I'll tell you why. And I can tell you guys this from being former law enforcement, understanding use of force and using lethal force. You are not judged on 2020 hindsight. You're judged on the facts that were visible to you when you decided to pull that trigger. So this is why, this happens all the time. A police officer will shoot someone that what they thought was a gun but it ends up being a toy gun. Why? Because they had no knowledge that it was a toy gun until after the person was shot. But they were operating. We don't judge them on 2020 hindsight, right? What were the facts available to them when they showed up on the scene? In this case, it's important to note that they go to.
Why isn't the taser the first go-to in situations like this? Right? Like, and I'm not an expert. That's why I don't really feel too comfortable to go crazy with that discussion, but the taser should probably be used more often in these types of situations, my nigga. Like, especially it was like a little lady, right? It wasn't like she wouldn't have respected the taser. You know what I mean? If you know, I'm trying to clean my language up. So I don't know. Sounds a little odd. I don't know. But I'm not an expert. And still not saying all cops are bad. That's crazy. Right? That's like saying everything is bad. No, it's not the way life works. Right? There are people that are bad or maybe not good at their job or not able to be competent or complete their job to the fullest ability. So their full ability, I should say. And that don't make the whole thing horrible. Nigga, no. Right? That's why I say just higher the requirements, bro. Mentally and physically. Nigga, we need FBI level training for these niggas, like superhero level training for cops. Right? Same thing for other stuff like that within those lanes. Firefighter, of course, right? But they train hard as hell because they risking their life every day. EMT should be highly trained too as well because they be wilding sometimes.
To the house, and the woman has this boiling water, and she takes the boiling water and she doesn't follow lawful commands. They're telling her, "Hey, stop! Don't grab that water! Don't throw it on us! Blah blah blah! I'll shoot you!" And she still continues to disobey the lawful orders. Then she ducks down, and the officers can't see her. Now you're in their house. You don't know what she has in one of these cupboards. You don't know if she has a weapon there, etc. So they go ahead and proceed forward to make sure they can see her hands. In law enforcement, they always teach you need to see the hands at all times. He couldn't see her hands. When he sees her, she's coming back up like this, and she's about to hurl the water on him. And on top of that, she says, "Jesus rebukes you." Well, I don't know about you guys, but anytime someone says something like Jesus rebukes you, something's about to come your away that you're probably not going to like.
Sure, but
it
the
keeps going down.
the issue I think with the cops handling that is if you watch the video, this lady is wacky. Like when I first saw it, I was thinking either mental health or drugs. Like what didn't sound right. And the cops, even prior to her going to the kitchen, like the thing that made me scary, and I've seen so many cop execution videos of cops getting killed. The thing I always get scared of is like, oh, this person's reaching into a bag and the cop's not paying attention. Somebody's about to die, right? Yeah. The fact that like they're just in the apartment chatting and she's like reaching over, like going through a bag and shit. I'm like, bro, why is this cop acting so comfortable around this lady that seems like fucking insane? And then she walks into the kitchen and now the cop has put himself, like, even at that, like if law enforcement has come to your house for something and they're not 100% comfortable with you, and I would give this as advice for a person. If an officer tells you, can you go and grab a particular thing? One, they shouldn't. They should be saying, tell me what you want to get and I'll go get it for you. Or you say, okay, sure, can you come with me? You don't want to be disappearing into fucking rooms and then a cop hears something or whatever, and now you got to come out of the darkness with like your hands up, hopefully that they don't mistake what you have for a gun. Like, it's just to lose control of a situation like that. You never want to.
It's very odd for a cop not to be with you at all times if you moving around in your apartment at all. You should not be moving around in your apartment. Either sit your ass down where your hands are visible so you can have the conversation, or stand there with your hands visible in one spot so you can answer questions and have the conversation, bro. It's just, it doesn't make sense for you to be that comfortable, to be going from room to room, right? That is crazy. That's what I'm saying. Like, people are not giving enough responsibility on the person. And that sounds harsh, but come on, bro. I've had cops stop me and talk to me, and I freeze, nigga. I'm frozen. I'm gonna answer every question and I'm gonna go on about my business.
Be in a situation where you got to make like an impossible fucking split second call because it's like, why would you do that?
But Destiny, we're using 2020 hindsight here.
No, this is what I disagree with. That lady was insane. She should have never been sent, because we're looking at the pot of boiling water. She could have reached in and grabbed a knife.
I said the system has it unsafe on all sides. Wait, what? Let me reread that. I might just really put my damn glasses on. So I'm like, hey, this is it unsafe on all sides? Let me see. I felt like there was more to that. Okay. The system has it unsafe on all sides while we all should read a book. That is funny.
A gun? Who the fuck knows? She was crazy. What?
But here's the thing, bro. Remember, when you're a police officer, right, and you're showing up on a 911 call, a lot of the times you have limited facts that you're operating on. You're operating on what they tell you, the dispatcher tells you. Right now, we can Monday morning quarterback it all day and say, dude, this lady was crazy. Why'd they shoot, etc. He might have not known that when he rolled up to the scene.
No, I understand what you're saying. I've seen enough drunk people. I've seen enough people on drugs. I've seen enough crazy people.
You said there's no sides. Yeah, I think the system has tricked people to think that there are sides. And only you crazies push opposite.
And I've seen enough cops. I know that cop knew. Unless that guy was an actual green as fuck, the most rookie motherfucker.
Opposite as in the opposite side of what? Never mind. There's only the truth and then there's lies. That's what I always tell people. The whole red pill, blue pill analogy is extremely accurate, right? There's only the red pill and the blue pill. And the red pill is where truth and reality is. And all that fraud and fakeness is in that blue pill, right? That's the best analogy I can give people. Right? So technically, that blue pill ain't even a side. That shit don't even exist. It's fake. People were falling for it. They falling for it, bro. That shit is just filled with crazies.
Ever who's never been in a bad neighborhood. That lady, and you can watch me watch the video. As soon as that cop answered the door and he's like, hey, did you call 911? And she's like, oh dear, oh no, what's happening? And the cop's like, are you okay? Did you? And she's like, oh, I don't know. And she's like, this lady is.
And you agree to disagree, but like insanity isn't an excuse. Like whether the person is sane-minded or not, the police officer or the law enforcement official still has the right to defend themselves regardless of the person's mental capacity. Because like I said before, they don't know what her mental capacity is, right? Of course you can infer, this dude's a little off, whatever it may be. But regardless, if someone grabs a weapon, and I would argue that boiling hot water is a deadly weapon, you can absolutely use lethal force to combat that. And she did try to
But the cop, the cop has a right to defend himself. That's why I'm saying at the point of the shooting, I get it. But like, if you think a person's crazy, this is why when a cop pulls over people or groups of people or whatever, they'll say like, hey, can you guys get out of the car? Can you sit on the street? Can you like put your hands forward where I can see them or whatever? You're doing this so that you don't end up in a situation where you have to kill somebody. Because like this shooting, every part of it, and trust me, I've watched so many of these videos and I take so many unpopular stances that are pro cop. My aunt was NYPD for 20 years. Like I have a lot of sympathy for making calls like that. This was a situation where as soon as they opened the door, that lady was fucking insane. She was even on the phone with a guy who sounded like a mental health caretaker. She was fucking wild. And the idea that they just let her wander around her house, I think it was totally preventable. She was fucking crazy.
And I'll tell you why. Well, the thing is, so when you're showing up on a 911 call, right, and you're going to someone's house, it's not really because when you're on the job, they teach you to de-escalate and keep things as chill as possible. Going to someone's home when on a 911 call and telling them what they can and can't do, though, yes, you can absolutely do that. You want to try to minimize that because at the end of the day, you don't really have much authority, right? To like be telling people what they can. Oh,
you got all the authority. If a cop is doing an investigation, you don't need a warrant. You got a 911 call. He was invited in the house. Cops can.
Yeah, this nigga Destiny is wild. Yo, he's full out wilding right now. Now he's getting a little extreme, I should say.
Do what they want to, what they need to keep themselves safe in the process of performing an investigation, right? If a cop pulls me over and they feel like I'm skittered, like I'm skittish as fuck and I got these like huge coats on, the cop has every right to say, listen, sir, why are you detained while I've got you pulled over? Can you just step out of the car and like take your coat off, please? He has every right to ask me that.
Destiny, your home and your car are.
Get the hell out of it. See, now, that's the problem with that. He'll get you with a little bit of agreement. And then this nigga just go off the deep end. You cannot pull me out my damn car. That's crazy. Nigga, what if these cops is just extra jumpy, which there are some. We're just extra jumpy. Jumpy as hell, fam. I've had a police officer, when I came out a building, I was visiting family, pull the blicky on me, put it to my face. Nigga, I was like, oh. And he was like, oh. You came out the door too fast. I'm like, this is an apartment building, nigga. I was leaving. Right? They shouldn't have been a cop. That person was way too scared.
Vastly different. Like there's a reason why, the Castle Doctrine exists. There's a reason why you need way more probable cause to secure a search warrant on a home than on a car.
They already have probable. They got a 911 call. That's probable cause right there. They can enter the house. Like they're totally within their right to do so. They got a call for a burglary.
Sure. But that could be retracted. Here, keep in mind, well, they have the consent to go in. It could be retracted at any time. So
sure, but then the officers would just leave. They would just leave. She'd be like, okay, can you guys get the fuck out? And the cops can say, oh, is there anything? Yeah, they could leave, but
you don't want to escalate things if you don't have to. So you're going to be as chill as possible.
I don't want to give cops that much liberty.
They were relaxed. Now, is that
to just snatch people up out of cars whenever they're scared? That's crazy. Nigga, no. That's not okay. Nah.
The best way to go? Everyone is different, right? Everyone skins a cat.
You should be able to do whatever you want. This nigga's, he really said that. As a cop, you should be able to do whatever you want to keep yourself safe. Nigga, no, that's nuts. That's insane. Bro, no, that's not the way that works.
Differently. But what I am saying is, like, based on the facts that I saw and how she went behind the counter, she grabbed the pot of water, it was boiling hot, etc. She wasn't following lawful commands. She tried to hurl it at him, and we know boiling hot water can absolutely mess you up if it lands on you. I think it's a good shoot. Some people in the chat disagree with me, that's totally fine. But you guys.
I don't know, man. I feel like you should rewatch that video from start to finish. You should watch. I agree with you. I agree like 99% of the time in these cases. But there are times where like the cop can say like, hey, can you just like step out or can you come over here or whatever? Like if a cop came into my house and asked me questions, I'm never like running over into my bedroom to like grab shit or like shouting some shit at the cop because I know that like why the fuck like this guy doesn't know if I'm gonna fucking kill him. He's got a fucking gun. If any escalation is gonna be one of us is dying, right? Like I feel like that's the thing where you can call it an escalation, but I mean, like with the cop, like assuming the only people that would get escalated on if you were to ask them like, hey, could you just like chill here with your hands out? If they start to get irate about that, well, then they're probably gonna get irate if they disappear in another room as well. Like why risk it?
Well, besides the shoot, and I'll just leave it, make this last point and then I'll move to the next person. I think the shoot, right? He got obviously he got arrested for this and everything else like that. I think a big reason why he was arrested because this was a political move because where this happened in like Illinois or somewhere, something like that?
I think it was Illinois, yeah.
Yeah, which is a blue state. Like, I think
Yep.
George Floyd kind of showed us that the potential for riots and for social anarchy is very real. And the prosecutor's office was like, you know what, dude, we don't want to deal with this shit. Let's just get this guy arrested and let a jury decide if he's innocent or not. I think this guy has a really good chance to go ahead and be found innocent on this. I know some of you guys in the chat are saying, oh, he had a DUI before. He's been fired from other departments.
If he get out, I wouldn't even be mad at it. I just wouldn't want him to be a cop anymore. Like, nigga, you need another profession, bro. It ain't for you. Well, it ain't for you. I ain't gonna be mad if they drop the charges or whatever and he gets off. Right? But now, nigga, you should not be allowed to be a cop anymore. You failed. That was a failure, bro. You failed, my nigga.
etc.
Yeah,
More than likely, his defense is going to move
Could've
to
did
get
better.
that stuff like not brought into the trial. And the reason why is because they don't want to poison the jury with other stuff that might not necessarily be as relevant to the case, because we want to go with the facts and circumstances that were present at that particular encounter, not necessarily his prior conduct. And I doubt that if his defense attorney is halfway competent, they're going to make sure that stuff doesn't come in. But we'll go into the next person, Chief Rock. Chief Rocco, what's up, bro? And yeah, you guys could go. Some people will disagree with me. That's fine. No, we don't have.
Oh, this is my last one because then I gotta go to bed. It's fucking late for me.
That's crazy. I'm gonna check that last one out another time. All right, we'll check that out. I think Destiny, sometimes when he has a good point and you're like, oh, okay, I kind of agree. He just goes way too far with it. It's like, it's left. It's left. Joking. But yeah, I think he goes way too crazy. But that's just my opinion. Tell me what yours is down in the comment section. Hit the like button, share the video, go and watch my other videos. Why are you judging me? Don't judge me. Nah, I'm lying. You can judge me.